So now let's create yet another chart that represents sales by the category and also by the market. Okay. So let's go ahead and create a new spreadsheet, new chart. You can do that by clicking that button. Remember, we discussed that. There are three things that you can create with Tableau. Number one, you can create a new workbook, right? So this one right there. Number two, you can create a dashboard. And number three, you can create a storyline. So let's create, click on the new worksheet. So click on that, sheet 3, all right? So again, what I want to do is show sales by categories and probably by the market, and also within each category, I want to look at the segment. So we'll see what that means exactly. Okay. So I'm going to take sales, and remember we discussed that the variables are columns, right? Our data is like a Excel spreadsheet. Every column contains on a certain type of variable, right? Such as, for example, column dedicated to order date, or order amount, or quantity purchased, or profit, right? So all things that are numerical are listed right here as measures. That's what we want to represent on our charts, right? And these dimensions, they're categorical variables, and we can slice and dice by categorical variables, right? We can use them as dimensions for our analysis. Okay, so I'm going to take sales and drop that into the columns area. That will create for me a very simple chart that basically summarizes all the sales, right? And now let me slice that by category. So I'm going to take category, peel, right? So these are peels, right? Also call them peels. So I'm going to take the category peel and drop it on the shelf, right? These places are called shelves. On the row shelf. Kaboom. So what it tells me basically is I can tell pretty much right now that my most successful category is what? Technology, right? And I can order them. So right now they're kind of probably in the alphabetical order, I'm guessing. FOT, right? Furniture, office, and technology. But I can order them or sort them in the order from highest to lowest, right? That probably would make more sense. So number of ways how you can do that. There is a button right there on the top. That's kind of a shortcut. It says sort category descending by sales. So go ahead and click on that one. And I can also color them differently, right? So because these are different categories, what I can do is take the variable category, the field, and drop it into this. How is this place called in Tableau? A card, right? So these are called fields, variables, right? These are called shelves, and these tools right here, they're called cards. So I drop the category on the card, which is color, and it colors them differently, right? I can also show the sales numerically. So right now, in order to see the sales, I have to point to the bar, and then it highlights for me, right? It says that the category technology generated $4,744,000 in sales, right? If I want that to be displayed permanently for whoever is using that chart, I can do that very easily. You see on the top, like shortcut buttons right there, and there is one button that says ABC, show mark labels, right? So if I click on that, just basically displays the amount of sales permanently. Okay, pretty easy. All right, now let me go ahead and do another level of slicing. So right now, all I created was all I created is a by variable plot, really, right? Because I plot sales versus product categories, right? That's all I'm doing. It's a by variable plot. So let me add more variables onto the chart. So for example, there is a variable called segment. Do you see segment right there? Yeah, so let's go ahead and add segment right behind the categories, okay, on the shelf rows. Kaboom. So what do we see? In each category we have same 3 segments, right? There are items that we sell to consumer, right? So just regular people buying things for themselves, right? Like an office chair or a table or a computer, right? And then there is corporate customers segment. Okay, so we're selling to organizations and companies such as CNU or any other business, right? And then there is a home office, right? So some people, they want to have a room in the house where they, do the work. So, or maybe even run the business from home, right? And you can see that across all categories, right? Across office supplies, furniture, and technology. So what do we see? What's the most popular segment in terms of sales? Yeah, consumers, right? Consumer sales. That's most. So second one is the corporate sales, and then I have home office, right? Home office is the least popular category. Okay. Now let's see what else can I do. Well, first of all, I can, if I want to slice it slightly differently, if I want to see segment first. So right now, because I placed category first and segment next, that's how it slices, right? So my first slicer is right here. It says category, and then each of these categories is sliced further by the segment. If I drag segment in front of the category, just like that, changes the view, right? So first it slices by the segment, so it shows me consumer, corporate, and home office, and then within each segment, it shows me the sales summary by the category, right? So inside customers, I have technology, which is most popular, and then furniture, which is second most popular, and then office supplies, which is the third most popular, right? So you can move things, quite literally, just drag them slightly, change the places, and it will represent just different way to slice it, right? So I'm going to switch it back. Category first, segment next. And let me actually see if the same pattern holds true for different markets. Okay? Remember, we're a global company, right? We created a map of sales and profits, right? We sell everywhere. So let's see. There is a variable listed in the dimensions that says market. Market is right here, okay? So I'm going to add the peel market to the columns shelf. Just drop it there. And what it does basically is it additionally slices my sales by the market. So let's see what we have. We have Africa, we have Asia Pacific, we have Europe, LATAM. What does that mean? Latin America, and USCA. US and Canada, right? So these are aggregated sort of geographical regions, right? Different markets. So by looking at these plots, what can we say? What's our smallest market? Africa. What's our largest candidates? Asia Pacific, and Europe is also fairly sizable, right? So probably Asia Pacific is largest, right? I'm guessing, and not everywhere, right? Because if you look at the individual sales, for example, office supplies, home office is largest market is Europe, right? While at the same time, technology consumer segment, largest market is Asia Pacific, right? But in general, probably if I'm just kind of eyeballing these numbers, I can tell that Asia Pacific probably in general is my largest market, right? Second largest is Europe, and then Latin America and US and Canada about the same size. And Africa is kind of emerging market for me, right? Okay, so let's rename this chart. How do I call that? Sales by category and segment, right? Category and segment. Okay. All right. Let's create one more chart, actually. So I want to show you some more cool stuff in Tableau. And after that, we're going to put together the dashboard. So several charts coming together. So this is the file that we worked with in the previous several classes, right? It's the sales data for the company, and the company is global, right? So we created a map for the company, right, for their sales. Hopefully it will show me the map in just 1 second. Yep, there's the map. And we created the breakdown by the country and by the state, right? If the country has multiple regions or states, that's what we did. Okay, then we know that a product displays seasonality in the northern hemisphere, right, but not in the southern hemisphere. You know what, now that I know this fact, it's probably pretty useless right now to me, I'm going to drag out Southern Hemisphere from here. Just take it out completely, and it will eliminate the breakdown Southern versus Northern Hemisphere, right? One thing that I wanted also to do is, these are the total sales, right? So every state is a bubble. Size of the bubble represents the amount of sales. The color of the bubble represents profit, right? So if the bubble is blue in color, that's high profit. If the bubble is red, that's losing money, right? So we can easily see which spots are profitable, which are not, and how much sales are we generating, right? That's one thing. But another thing is, this is total sales across all the categories, right? We have 3 categories, I believe, right? If you go to the previous chart, we sell furniture, we sell office supplies, and we sell technology. So in 3 categories. Can I break it down? Can I have an option to filter my data? In other words, if I don't want to see all the sales and all the profits across all categories, but rather I would pick one category and see how we're doing. Can I do that? The answer is yes, I can, and it's very easy. Look how I can do that. I'm going to pick up the category, this one right there, this peel, right? These are called peels, right? Dimensions and measures. And I'm going to drop category in this card that says filters. Kaboom. All right. And there is a pretty much wizard for me. How do you want your what do you want your filter to display? Well, I want all of them, right? I want to be able to filter furniture, office supplies, and technology, right? I want to be able to filter out any specific category that I have, right? And then I say apply and OK. And it shows filter right here, but I want the filter to be usable, to be pretty much a graphical tool, right? Where I can easily click and pick the category. So let's do that. On the peel category in the filter card, there is this triangle, right? And there is a menu hidden behind that, okay? I'm going to show filter. It's one of the properties, okay? And look at that. My filter shows up right here, okay? So now I can check or uncheck different categories, right? So for example, if I want furniture only, I'll uncheck all and check the furniture. So it shows up, same data, right? Bubbles, and the size of the bubble is sales, color of the bubble is profit, right? But now it shows only the information about the furniture, right? If I want office supplies only, then click on click, but it's easier to do it. So with check marks, I can do multiple check marks, right? So for example, if I want to show furniture and office supplies, then it's 2 check marks, okay? How about this? The filter itself also has the properties, right? So this triangle in the upper right corner. Go ahead and click on the properties, okay? And there is an option kind of midway through this menu. It says single value list. In other words, I can pick one category at a time. And it's going to be radio buttons. Radio buttons, if you're familiar with what radio buttons are, you can pick one category but not the other, right? Only one. So if you pick another category, the one that was selected before gets unselected, right? Check boxes, you can pick multiple check boxes, right? They all still check. Radio buttons, they basically switch one at a time, okay? So I'm going to pick single values list right there. And it's just a bunch of check boxes. Oh, sorry, radio buttons, right? So I can switch office supplies, furniture gets deselected, or technology, or all of them, okay? So that easily allows me to filter out my data, right? I can show sales and profits across all categories in different geographic locations, or I can filter out specific product categories. That's a useful tool, right?
How did you get the categories menu on the top right up here?
This one right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have categories in the filter?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you go into the categories, peel right there, right? It says show filter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that basically when it shows up, okay? All right. So let me show you one more, feature, let's call it feature, okay? Let's create a new worksheet. So at the bottom, as you see, you probably remember, we discussed that before, right? Tableau can create 3 things for us, right? You can create a new chart, so that's worksheet, right? Or you can create a new dashboard, or you can create a new story. Story, pretty much, you can put multiple dashboards or charts in a sequence, and when you do the presentation, you just click through them, right? And they basically keep telling your story in terms of data. So let's create a new worksheet right there, okay? So I'm going to do this. Let's take sales and put them into the columns. All of them, sales, all right? So that's basically sum of everything, right? All the sales that I generated as a company. Okay. And now what I want to do is break down sales by category and subcategory and maybe even the product. Okay? So let's do that. I'm going to take the variable category from dimensions, right? And drop it into the rows. Kaboom. So it will create a breakdown of sales by category. And if I want them to be ordered from highest to lowest, for example, I can sort them. Okay? Is everybody keeping up? Yep? We're good? Okay. So how to sort them is very easy. I can do it either from here, when you see that? Sales? It's kind of title of this chart, not the title, but the legend, right? And there is a sorting symbol right next to that, okay? Can sort it from, so look, if I click through that, it sorts in the unsorted way, right? So it's basically alphabetically sorted, right? Or in descending or ascending order, right? So let's sort it in the descending. Or I can do the same thing from here. There is a shortcut for sorting somewhere here, right here. Sort category. Well, it's already sorted, right? And I can sort it in the reverse order, in the descending or ascending order, right? Okay. And now what I can do is create a hierarchy. Okay. Remember when we discussed time plot? When we plotted sales versus time. Remember when we put time, like sales order date, into one of the shells, right? There was a plus sign on the date. Let me illustrate that, right? So if I take away the category, no, let's not do that. Where is the sales date? Order date, right? Order date, right there. So I'm going to place sales order date right here. Okay, no, let's put it right here. Okay, so you can see that it aggregates on the highest level, right, of sales order date. That would be here, and I could expand that, right? If I click the plus sign, and on the peel I have this plus sign, right? If I click the plus sign, it says next level of aggregation would be quarters, right? Quarters consist of months. Months consist of days, right? Okay, cool. So now let me collapse the whole thing and get it out of the way and put the sales up there back. Okay, so time was aggregated, right? Time was aggregated. I can create same kind of aggregation or hierarchy myself. For example, products, they sell in categories, right? We know that furniture, technology, and office supplies. But also what I can do is, there are subcategories, right? Do you see the subcategory anywhere on the list? Yeah, right there, subcategory, okay? So look what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the peel subcategory and drag it to the top of my list and drop it on the top of category. Not on the chart, not on the shelf, not on the card, but on another peel, okay? Bam. And it says, create hierarchy, right? You got the same result? Create hierarchy. So in other words, I'm going to create pretty much aggregation, right? It's like multiple level of aggregation, multiple different hierarchies, right? So category and subcategory, I'm going to call it products, right? Products, they belong to category, and each category can be broken down into the subcategories, okay? And when I click OK, look what happened. It just created another variable for me, right, in dimensions, and that's product. And inside products, I have category and subcategory. Moreover, each subcategory contains specific product names, right? So I can add more stuff to my category or to this hierarchy. So if I scroll down, product name right there, actually, right above the product, right? Product name. I can drag it and place in the same hierarchy right below subcategory, okay? And look what happened. Do you see your peel category, which is in the rows, it has the plus sign, right? Which means that it can be expanded further, right? Huh, Amanda? Sure. Now, how do I undo that? Let me.
Like, what did you drop and where did you drop it?
Yeah. I don't know how to undo it right now, quite honestly. But what I did is I took subcategory and dropped it on the top of category. That created hierarchy for me. Right? So this thing, I can expand it or collapse it. Product, right? Just take one of these peels, drag and drop it on the top of another peel. So subcategory goes into the category. And I'll create a hierarchy for you. Yeah, I can show you after class, okay? How to do that thing. So let me see if I can actually drag it out. Or maybe I can remove, right? Is there an option to remove? Remove from category, hierarchy. Yeah, remove from hierarchy, right there. Hold on. I'm going to do that. Hierarchy, remove from hierarchy. And that one also remove. Okay, so I'm back to square one, right? So here's what I did. I don't have any categories, any products right now, right? The new hierarchy that I just created. So I take subcategory and drop it on the top of, come on, subcategory. Yeah, I'm trying to scroll. No. Okay, let me move it down. So subcategory, bam. And it says, you're about to create hierarchy. I'm going to call it products. There it is, okay? And you can see that my peel category has a plus sign, which means it's expandable, right? So what happens if I expand it? Click. It says, oh, look. You have, each category contains a bunch of subgroups, subcategories, right? For example, technology has accessories, whatever that means. Then there is copiers, machines, and phones, right? Furniture obviously has a different category, right? List of categories. Bookcases, chairs, furnishings, and tables, etc. Okay? Make sense? All right. And now I'm going to add product name right below my subcategory in the same list, okay? So that my subcategory now is expandable. So I can look at my sales based on the level of individual products, right? Now, it becomes pretty non-informative, right? So it's a huge list. I can see all things. So I can scroll down, I guess, and see which sales are fairly large, right? So this one, for example, what is that? It says Motorola smartphone full size, high sales, right? That's another popular product. Nokia smartphone full size. Who buys Nokia anymore, right, these days? Nokia is mostly dead, right? It was the largest cell phone company back 20 years ago, and now it basically went into oblivion, right? But let me go ahead and collapse. So I don't need things on the product level, right, aggregation. So let me collapse it to the subcategories. And let's sort them, okay? Because right now it's kind of all over the place. So I click on the sort button. It says technology is the highest, right? And these are the sales. And then I have furniture, and then I have office supplies. So these are the sales, right? What if I want to see how we're doing so far, by the way? Yay? Nay?
Where's the sort button?
Sort button is on the top right there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. You can sort it in ascending or descending order. Okay? All right. So that's sales, but are all of my sales, all categories and subcategories profitable? I don't know. I can color them by profit, right? So let's do exactly that. In my measures, right here, I have the variable profit, right? So I'm going to drag that peel and drop it on the top of the color card, right there. Kaboom. What do we see? Green is good and red is not so good, right? Okay, so what do we see?
Phones have the highest profits.
Phones have the highest profits, exactly. And then what else?
Tables have the lowest.
Tables are losing money, really, right? And if you put the mouse over any of these bars, it will tell you pretty much what's going on, right? So furniture, $757,000 sales, but we lost $64,000 in spite of the sales it's still not profitable, we're losing money, right? Everybody else is more or less making money, right? And just like Michael was saying, or Henry was saying, right? Phones apparently are the highest profit, right? Or maybe copiers, right? Okay, how about this stuff down there? Labels, still making money, right? Sales are not huge, 73,000, but it's still profit and not a loss, okay? So that's good. All right, let me do this. Let me show you something else, okay? What if I can, labels. Labels is pretty small item, right? It's in the office supplies, obviously group, right? But it's a small item. Fasteners, also a small item, okay? Then I have envelopes, paper, whatever that means, supplies, okay? Can I kind of group them together and call them small office supplies? I probably can, right? Can aggregate them. So here's how I do that. I click on supplies, that's my start, okay? And I hold down the shift button and I click on labels. And it highlights a group of subcategories for me, right? And then if you put the mouse over this group, right? You see there is like a context menu that shows up, right? Right here. And one of the things that you see is a paperclip, right? Which is a group members, right? Clip them together. So I'm going to click on that one, and they basically disappear. Individual things disappear, right? And now I have a grouping.
Which one would you click?
I clicked, let's see, here, right? The paperclip, right there. Paperclip that says group members, okay? All right, so I have this group that says envelopes, fasteners, labels, blah, blah, blah. How about I rename them, okay? Right click, and there is an option that says edit alias. Edit the name of this group, right? So right now it's furnishings, labels and stuff, right? So how about I call it small office supplies. Supplies, just like that, okay? And then I click OK. All right. So it looks like I'm doing pretty well across different subcategories except tables, right? Tables, I'm losing money on tables. Everything else is profitable. How cool is that? Very easy, right? And let's actually make the, here's another useful tool. If I want to see horizontal bars versus vertical, there is an easy way to swap axes right there, okay? Swap rows and columns. So click on that, and it basically flips the chart, right? So how do you want to see it? Horizontal way or vertical way? So that's pretty cool, right? Make sense? Any questions? Let me go ahead and rename that. It says sheet 4, so I'm going to rename it sales and profit, right? And profit by categories and subcategories, right? Just like that. Okay. All right, so we have 4 different charts, 4 different worksheets. Now let's take a look at what can we do with them to put them together. Because, you know, individually, it's fine to have them individually, but the idea basically is that you create different slices of your data and you put them together in one display, right? And that's what you can send to your boss, your colleagues, whoever would like to take a look at that. That's called dashboards, right? Remember, we did dashboards and jump, right? Same here. We can create new dashboard, and that's the second button. 3 buttons on the bottom, new worksheet. The other one says new dashboard. Let's click the new dashboard, okay? So here is the new dashboard, and you can actually change the change the size, okay? So depending on how large or small you want your dashboard. Here, right now it's showing, well, in my case, desktop browser. Is that the same for you?
Yes.
Okay. So fixed size, but you can you know, mess around with them. Laptop browser. Laptops are smaller, so you're going to have a smaller dashboard, right? So let me go back to where is that desktop browser, so that I have a larger dashboard. Okay, and also sheets right there. Okay, so all the worksheets that I was creating in the last couple of classes, they're all listed, okay? And I can position the mouse over them, it gives me a brief preview, right? What this dashboard looks like. Okay, not dashboard, what this worksheet looks like. So how about that? I'm going to drag the map and drop the map into the view, okay, just like that. Then I'm going to take, for example, sales by category and drag it, position it right under my map. Kaboom, okay? And then I'm going to take the sales and profit by what's that, category and subcategory, right? And drop them. No, you know what? Let's undo that. So second one, I want to look at seasonality, for example, okay? Whether or not the product is seasonal. Seasonality and sales and profit by category, the last one that we just created, I'm going to position right next door to that one, under the map, okay? Bam. So that's my dashboard, okay? Now let's see how it works. What if I want, so right now I have, this is my map, right? And I can search the map, right? I can zoom in, zoom out. So all the functionality that we saw when we were creating that thing, it's still there, right? Very much there. I can search things. For example, I can go to England, okay? Kaboom, it will show me the England. Now I can click on England, and it will update. It will basically highlight just the England for me, right? Just that bubble. But nothing happens in the rest of the worksheets, right? So it's basically I'm interacting with one part of the dashboard, and it shows me some details, but it does not have this interactivity, right? Remember when we did jump, you could click on one chart, and it will update the other charts on the same dashboard, right? I want to do something like that as well here. And same thing happens, remember this filter that we just created. If I show all sales versus, okay, let me display all of them, right? Just furniture, just office supplies, it updates the map because it was attached to the map originally, right? But nothing happens, right, throughout the rest of the dashboard. So how about I want this filter to be applicable to all of my charts that are displayed on the dashboard. Can I do that? Yes, I can, right? So right here, there is this down pointing triangle. So this is my filter, right? That's my filter. Here is the down pointing triangle. Click on that, okay? And second option from the top says apply to worksheet, and we're going to pick all using this data source, right? So in other words, this filter, when I click something on the filter, everything that uses this data source will get updated, right? My seasonality, my sales by category, subcategories, all of that jazz, right? So I'm going to click OK. And what happens is, now if I click all, for example, you see that now it's a living, breathing organism. Map is getting updated, but also the rest of the rest of the dashboard is also getting updated, right? So it does filter out things, right? So how about now, if I want to see specific location, like here, for example, I click on United Kingdom, well, nothing happens, right? These things are not getting updated. Or I click on Germany, North Rhine-Westphalia, okay, nothing happens. So I want to be able to use my selection on the map to update the rest of the chart. So essentially, I want map to be working as a filter as well, right? I can do that actually. So if you click on the map, you see that the map is highlighted, right? And on the top, you see close the map, right? Remove. No, not that one. Use as a filter. It's kind of a white funnel, right? White little teeny tiny funnel, right? So go ahead and click on that one, and it becomes black, okay? So now, my selection on the map is going to act as a filter for the rest of the work, for the rest of the dashboard, okay? So, for example, let's see, let's zoom out. France. Bam. So now, everything that I click on the map updates also my two charts that are below, right? Okay, cool. Now, moreover, I can do the same thing actually with other worksheets that are part of my dashboard. So for example, if I want that chart also to be acting as a filter, I can totally do that. Just click on the chart, and right now it's not, right? Because I can highlight any of these bars, right? Doesn't have any effect on the rest of the dashboard, right? just highlighting the bar and that's it. So what if I want this also to be acting as a filter? Same thing, right? On the top, you see this white little teeny tiny funnel, right? So click on that one and it becomes black. So now it becomes a filter. So how many filters I have? A bunch, right? So first of all, this selection of the category is a filter, right? I can switch, for example, to furniture, right? Next, my map is updated, but map is also a filter. So if I go to India, right? And there it is. So I click on this province, right? Right there. That filters out the other two charts, right, on my dashboard. And now this one is also a filter. So if I want to look, I'm looking at furniture, right? So subcategories are what? Bookcases, chairs, tables, and furnishings. And I want to look at the tables, right? Table sales. Bam. So this one is getting updated. Well, that's not much to look at. Apparently in this, they're like spotty sales, right? Only every once in a while you have sales, right? So it's not a continuous line, okay? So how cool is that? Extremely cool, right? Okay. Any questions, concerns, complaints, sarcastic comments? Beautiful, right? Okay. So I'm going to save that file. Save. And I will upload that back into the Scholar, okay? Now on Monday, today is Friday, right? On Monday I'm going to post the group assignment. So your responsibility would be to email me and let me know who are the team members, right? Who are 2 other people, so 3 people per team, right? Who are the 2 other people on the same team, okay? So I will post on Monday the data set and instructions. What are you supposed to do with this data set, okay? How to slice it, what type of chart to create, etc., etc. So at the end, you're supposed to answer some questions about the data set, about some features of the data set, and email me the file, okay? All right, a couple of other things that I wanted to tell you about the visualization packages. Well, this one, for example, okay? So I told you that Tableau is not a cheap tool, right? The license is very expensive, okay? I believe, here I have conflicting reports actually from the internet. The minimum is 1,000 per computer. So if you have 10 people doing Tableau work in the organization, each one of them needs license, so you're looking at $10,000 at minimum. But I believe the actual number is 2,000 per license. So licensing 10 people will be 20 grand, right? But next thing is, okay, you created the dashboard, the visualization, the story, whatever that might be. You want to send it to somebody, right? You want to share it with other people in the organization. How do you do that? That's where the second part comes in, okay? And the second part, basically, Tableau shares the information, the dashboards, for example, okay? Through something that's called Tableau Server. Remember when we started looking at Tableau a couple of classes ago, I showed you some visualizations on the Tableau, public Tableau server. We looked at like map energy consumption by the state, right? Coal, nuclear, green energy, solar power, etc., etc. So that's a publicly available visualization. Somebody created that, they uploaded that to the public domain so that you can find it, I can find it on the internet if you look for it, right? So that's one way. You create a public profile at the Tableau server, you upload your visualization, you share it with the world, essentially. Now, if you're working for a company, would you like to do that? No. Probably not, right? You're talking about your sales, your profits, your customers, categories, subcategories, what have you, right? But probably that's not the way to go. So Tableau basically sells not only Tableau product for the desktops, just like this one, but also Tableau server. That's a server software which you install on the server in your organization. And then you share the dashboards through this Tableau server, but that is only visible from inside of your company. So on your intranet, not on the internet, intranet, meaning internal, right? Now, Tableau charges for the Tableau server software, okay? So it's not free. And it can run organizations from $30,000, $40,000 up to $300,000, $400,000, depending on the size, number of users. Yeah, so Tableau is a very expensive tool, but still used by a lot of companies, and you probably can see why, right? Because creating visualizations is not a rocket science in Tableau, right? It's very easy and straightforward. Other competitors for Tableau, other products that do precisely the same thing or approximately the same thing, The answer is, yeah, there are competitors. And the closest one is called, that's something that I encourage you to also explore, okay? From Microsoft, there is a product that they sell called Power BI. BI stands for Business Intelligence. So here's how to find it, okay? If you open the browser, Power BI, so the address is powerbi.microsoft.com, okay? So I told you that by Monday you should have Tableau installed on your machine, right? I sent you the link. You should go to the link, download and install Tableau for students. It doesn't mean that it's a limited version or something. It just means that you have fully blown functionality for 1 year. Okay, 1 year you can use Tableau for free, right? That one is free completely. Okay, it's called Power BI Desktop, right? So let's see. If you go to the product, so the web address is powerbi.microsoft.com, right? If you go to the link products, here is Power BI Desktop. So that one, I again encourage you to install and download it, okay? Download and install it. It's completely free, not for 1 year, not for free. End of story, okay? So go to the Power BI Desktop. They'll probably ask you a couple of questions. So if you click download free, yeah, they ask you, yeah, I started it now, hold on, cancel. I already installed it on my machine, you can see it right here, actually. So they ask you a couple of questions, and then you download and install it. Okay, so this product is free, and you can create pretty much very similar charts. So in terms of capabilities, in terms of what you can graph, Tableau, Power BI looks very, very similar to Tableau. Okay, very flexible, very easy to use tool. It has a different licensing model, okay? So if you install the desktop product, Power BI Desktop, it's a one-user software, one-user product. So it's right there in front of you, just like a desktop Tableau that we just used, right? You use it on your machine, you create visualizations, but it's right here in front of you, okay? I believe what happens with Power BI is if you want to create dashboards, you cannot do it from inside Power BI program. You have to register the profile at Power BI, so come here, sign up for free, right? And from the online access, you can basically create a bunch of charts in the Power BI program on your computer, then upload it into the cloud, right? Upload it to their server, and from their server you can create a dashboard, so you can put it together online. Essentially, you're going to be working inside the browser with the charts that you created on your computer, just putting them together into a dashboard. But here's the kick, right? You can do it only if you sign up for, I believe they have Power BI Premium service. So essentially, here's the difference between Power BI and Tableau, okay? Tableau is a licensing model, right? They sell you licenses. You install the Tableau on your computer, that's a license for one computer. You buy the license for the Power BI, for the Tableau server, that's a license, right? So they sell it on the per license basis. Microsoft does it differently, okay? The desktop, the chart creation tool is free. You can download, install it, no charge, right? But if you want to share that with people as the dashboards that you can view inside of your browser, right? You just send the link, and they click on the link, it opens up, all charts are there, it's clickable, it's all dynamic and everything, right? To be able to create dashboards and share them, you have to sign up for the online service. So therefore, the model for that Microsoft is using is something that's called SaaS. I don't know if you heard about that. Come on, man. Hold on. The pen is not working. That sucks. Right? Okay, here. There you go. SaaS. What does it stand for? Anybody knows? Software as a service. So that's a different type of business model. Okay, software as a service essentially means that you pay for that on the as needed basis, right? So if I need to create, like you can sign up for 1 month service online, right? And they charge you, like, for example, $10 a month or $20 a month. Okay. So you pay for 1 month of the service, and you go online, you upload your charts that you created in Power BI, and you put them together in the dashboard, you publish it, bam, it becomes available to the world. Next month, your subscription runs out. If you want to continue, you pay again, right? So essentially, there is no installation required. You can't create dashboards on your computer. It can be only done on the server in the cloud, right? And you're paying for access to that service online. Hence the name software as a service. So it's not a licensing model. It's online infrastructure and access to this infrastructure for a payment kind of model, okay? So that's a very close competitor to Tableau. Functionality is very similar, and a lot of companies actually are choosing Power BI because it's very cheap, right? So I believe the premium, this Power BI premium access where you can upload things and create dashboards for them, it's like $10 a month. So it's really, like if I have somebody in the company, right, and they're creating dashboards, I pay only $120 a year for one person. If it's 10 people, it's $1,200, right? So it's not close to what Tableau is charging. So it's a different model. Here is another product which is also considered to be kind of a competitor to them as well, called QLeak View. Yeah, right there. Okay, so I just want to kind of put it out there. Okay, so there is no false impression on your side that there is Tableau and there is nothing else. No, there are plenty of tools. Okay, so this product is called QLeak, QLeak.com, and that's just another visualization software. Okay, I personally never use that one, so I don't know what to tell you about that. But I talk to people who use that, and they say that it's actually a fairly powerful package. Okay, now I don't know if it's free or not. Probably not free. That would be my guess. Okay, but some companies are using QLeak. Okay, so there are a lot of products that are in development that are market leaders right now. That doesn't mean that 5 years from now they're going to be still there, right? Tableau can, things come and go in this business, right? So companies that are leaders of the software world today, they basically go into the oblivion, right? And new companies show up. So Tableau, for example, I believe Tableau is not doing very great financially. I mean, in spite of the fact that their product is expensive, they're either losing money or close to losing money. So it's possible that Tableau will get purchased by somebody in the future, right? Somebody like Oracle, for example, or ERP manufacturer, SAP. Well, they don't like to be called SAP, they're SAP, right? So somebody will snatch them from the market, and they'll become part of the other product, right? But right now, Tableau, Power BI, and QLeak are the three more or less powerful companies that basically are leading the industry in terms of the visualization capabilities. And there are other companies as well. In fact, in the next class, probably I'll find it. It was either McKinsey or Gartner Group. They made kind of a survey of companies, which products are you using, and they created like a XY matrix, sort of a customer perception map kind of thing, along 2 dimensions, all the products out there. And that's a big map, I got to tell you, okay? So it's not limited just to these 3, okay? I just wanted to mention them to you so that you're familiar with the landscape, what's out there, okay? All right, we have 2 minutes remaining. Do you want to start a new topic? No? Okay. All right, so that's it for today.